Hey everybody, this is Mike, WX0MIK, here with another Ham Radio 101 tip. And let's talk about nets. That could be another good one to talk about. So if you remember from your studies, a net is kind of like casting out a net out into the lake. You are building a bunch of links together of different people, all for a purpose of communication. That's how I like to think of it anyway. And if you can dream it up, there's probably a net for it. Let's start with kind of the more basic emergency communication style nets. You have a single net control, and that single net control drives the conversation. So like our local area, our emergency services net that we run, if you want to call it that, I guess, is we have the net control, and they start the net, they take check-ins, and then we pass traffic, essentially. And really, the traffic is, hey, this is what I did this week in radio, or this is what I did this week in general, because a lot of them are friends. A lot of them want to know, hey, my granddaughter just had their birthday today, so we celebrate that this weekend, or whatever. So you have that. Ham Radio Crash Course, DVNet is similar to that. The HF net's similar to that. A lot of nets I'm on, other than one from one group, are very much like that. You pass a little bit of traffic, whatever it is. Maybe it's directly related to radios, maybe it's not. Or maybe a combination thereof, and you just basically testing your equipment to make sure it all works. Nothing wrong with that. I've heard of trivia nets. I've never partaken in one before, but there are trivia nets. There is rag chew nets. I mean, if you name it, there's probably something that is similar to what you're looking for. Maybe not in your immediate area, but there's probably something out there. I've not heard of a Dungeons and Dragons net yet. There was one guy trying to start one. I don't know if it ever came to fruition, and I'm not and logistics kind of played into that quite a bit. That probably shut that down in time. Sorry for yawning. And then you get into HF nets. So again, some HF nets are you check in, you do a brief something, say a little something, and then you move on. Sometimes it's the weather, sometimes it's, well, just a little, hey, this is my week. And then you have, I don't know how many different types of award nets there are out there, but the ones I'm familiar with are typically like a worked all states and awards type deal. So, OM, International Sideband Society, is one of them, of which I am to be completely transparent, I am a band coordinator for. So I run the 80 meter, all the 80 meter nets, making sure that they run every day of the week. But we're making contacts. So you get on the radio, give your call sign, you check into the net, and then you say, hey, I want to talk to W4DFR in Kentucky. I want to make a contact with that person. And then you can make your contact, you exchange your signal report, your call sign, and then you move on. And really, we're using software. We have on our computer something called NetLogger. So I can see, hey, W4DFR is in Kentucky, this is his name. I know WN4WDE is in this location, and this is where he's out of. So I see all those already. So then I'm focusing on really just getting that signal report, which can be a challenge, but also is very rewarding. For instance, when I first started on HF, and I happened to come across this net, and I'm going to use some interesting words because that's how it felt at the time. But hindsight gave a little bit more clarity to that. So I talked to net control. I made a contact with the net control because at OMS you need 2 contacts with two different members to become a member. It's a $10 lifetime fee. I mean, come on, if you want to learn HF, it's a really good place to start. But I digress. So you start off with your, I started off with the net control. I made a contact with her. She was really loud. And then I made contact with, I probably made contact with someone else was loud. I don't remember. And then someone quiet reached out to me and wanted to make a contact. I could barely hear them. And so then, and I know who was relay, but I'm not going to call them out, even though I've already said their call sign here. They said, hey, so-and-so, call again, give them numbers only. And Mike, hey, why don't you go ahead and listen up, see if you can hear them. And I was like, I don't really hear them. I said, give it a try. You can do it again. And then all of a sudden, I don't remember what the signal report was. Let's just say it was like a 3-3 or something like that. This 3-3 came out, and I heard it. And I asked, did I hear a 3-3? Yep, that's what you heard. Give him your signal report. And then I gave, I think it was a 2-1. Ultimately, it was a 2-1. We don't do 1-1s. It's a minimum of a 2, which is 2 is your how well you copy. 1 is a signal. 2 is a signal. 1 is the how well you copy. I had it backwards. So then I made a few more contacts, and I was like, God, this is actually kind of fun, because I started realizing I was learning how to be on HF through this process, and I have become a decent operator. I'm not going to say I'm professional, not saying I'm perfect, but I became a good operator because of that net. I joined in. I at some point said, okay, let's give this a shot. Let's become a net control. We train our net control so that they know what to do. They're all really good people otherwise. And then more recently, the previous band coordinator said, hey, Mike, I really would like to see you do this. Do you think you can do it? And after talking to people and figuring out how much work it is, like, yeah, I should be able to do that. So now I'm a little more ingrained in the organization and things that what I've been doing, and I enjoy it. And I've learned so much, either from just watching other people talk, because there's a little thing called AIM in NetLogger, almost instant messaging. You'll get it as soon as you start seeing it. But in AIM, they start chatting about different things, different settings on their Yaesu radios, which I had. So I started playing with those settings, like, oh, okay, that's what that does. And I learned, and I asked questions as well. They answered them for me. And like, okay, I'm feeling better. I mean, I have my settings kind of tweaked to how I like it now, but I know how to tweak it a little bit and kind of make it a little better. Again, I'm not an expert at operating radio, but I've become pretty decent at it, and that's what's important, right? So those are some examples of nets, and again, there are so much more, but there's rag chew nets I've heard of. I don't know how those work. I avoid rag chews. I hate talking, but that's where I glom down the OMS, because my introvert self, I have a very specific protocol to follow, and I'm done. And that makes it easy. So get out there, try out a net. If you can get on HF, get on HF net, learn, experience things, and just expand your horizons. Hit that PTT button. It is so difficult to do, especially at HF, because if you don't follow the right protocol, you're afraid you're going to get reamed out or something. But just do it, because I promise you, people will correct you nicely, generally, and help you become a much better operator. So 7 3s from WX0 MIK, and get on the air.